Well, the time is just gone 9:37 a.m. as we continue with our broadcast this morning, and our focus now is on the Uyghur Muslims in China. And for a very, very long time, and this is well documented about the treatment of the Uyghur minority in China, and this has been going on for a very, very long time in terms of violation of their rights, ethnic cleansing of the highest order. And as we focus on many other troubled spots around the world, we should not lose sight of what is taking place or what has been taking place to the Uyghur community in China, East Turkestan region. And we've seen this diminishing community. The month of Ramadan is coming, and every year without fail, we remind ourselves about what the Uyghur community even goes in the month of Ramadan in terms of force feeding. We know what has happened to many of their mosque, for example, turning into pig farms as well. The people, the brutal suppression, and also the treatment of the people and torture. All of this, at the end of the day, is very, very well documented. Now, there is a case of 48 Uyghurs who obviously have been to Thailand as well, and they are part of a group of 350 people who were arrested in Thailand in 2014. And now there is talk about 48 of them to be returned to the Republic of China. And we've seen the UN experts urging Thailand to stop the immediate deportation of these 48 Uyghurs to China. We're joined now by the Vice President and spokesperson of the World Uyghur Congress, Zumretay Arkin. Zumretay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Yes, Zumriti, from time to time, we have been addressing the issues surrounding Uyghurs, and I outlined a picture as to what has happened to the Uyghurs over years, over many, many years, and how, their treatment has been. And also, we see the diminishing number of Uyghurs in that part, ethnic cleansing, as I had mentioned it as well. And I suppose this is a big concern now that these 48 people are going to be deported to China. There are major concerns.
Absolutely. This concern has been going on for more than 10 years, where this group of Uyghur refugees have been detained in Bangkok, in Swan Flu Immigration Detention Center. And at the time, 100 this was a part. They were part of a larger group of 350 Uyghur refugees who fled China in 2014. But at the time, 109 men and women and children were forcibly returned to China, while 173 Uyghur women and children were relocated to Turkey. So this remaining group has been the remaining of that group. So the 109 who have been returned, they've disappeared since. We have no information about their whereabouts, if they're alive or not. So we actually fear the same for this group of 48 Uyghur refugees, where if returned to China, which would of course violate the principle of non-refoulement under international humanitarian and refugee law, is that they would be also facing one of the worst abuses in terms of violations, um, facing torture and possibly death, and also disappears.
Yes. Now, we've seen the UN experts obviously urging the Thai government not to transfer the 48 people to China. And just to look at it from the Thai government's perspective, what is that relationship between Thailand and China? And again, I mean, do they have the power not to send these people across to China?
Thailand has absolutely the power not to send them back to China, because they're also a member of the current member of the UN Human Rights Council. So this would actually violate a lot of the international law that they're also part of. And Thailand can make its own decision, and it is a decision of humanitarian assistance. If they're not happy to host these Uyghur refugees for longer, they can happily offer them a relocation to a safer country where they would not be subjected to the same abuses. And just, I mean, we're extremely worried in this specific context where Thailand is celebrating this year its 50th diplomatic relationship with the Chinese government. So I think there's an acute pressure coming from the PRC, and this would be why the Thai authorities would be thinking about deportation.
Yes, and also we've heard, and this is a major cause for concern, where there have been allegations that these 48 people have been held in a de facto incommunicado detention for over a decade. They haven't had access to lawyers, to family members, representatives from the United Nations for a High Commissioner for Human Rights as well. So at this point in time, these are people who are in limbo, Zumrate.
Yes, these people have not had any access to UNHCR, or actually the opposite. UNHCR has not had any access because the government, the Thai government, hasn't allowed it. The Thai government hasn't also allowed legal representation. It hasn't allowed visits from family members, or actually any other international organization. So it's they are living in fear since 10 years. And during that time, five of them have died, including a child, because of the horrendous conditions within these detention camps. And just as of a couple of days ago, these refugees have they were in different cells with different nationals. And a couple of days ago, the authorities have actually the prison, the detention center authorities or officials have actually moved all other nationals to another place. So they've relocated them. So the Uyghur group is the only group left in that specific cell.
Just looking at it from the World Uyghur Congress perspective, is asylum an option, and have they been given access to asylum procedures?
So UNHCR was denied access to these refugees. Other international organizations, like the International Organization for Migration, hasn't been allowed access either. So, but the offers for resettlement have, I'm sure, have not stopped. I believe there are countries that are willing to take these people, but it's just a decision that needs to be made within the Thai authorities if they actually want to respect human rights or if they want to violate humanitarian law as well.
Do we know why this access to asylum procedures have not been granted?
We believe it's due to the increased pressure from the Chinese government over the years. They don't want to break that relationship between Thailand and the PRC. And so I believe, or we believe as an organization, that it's due to the increased pressure on Thailand.
Yes. What options do you have as the World Uyghur Congress, Sumriti?
So we're really trying everything. We're trying to alert different organizations, of course, the UNHCR, OHCHR, UN experts. You may have seen that UN experts 2 days ago have published a press release in which they actually reiterate their concerns about the detention of those Uyghur refugees and ask for the halt of that deportation process, which would, of course, violate again international law. There has been sustained efforts by UN independent experts over the years. Last year, there was a communication by a group of UN experts as well. And so we're doing everything we can. We are hosting protests in front of Thai embassies in different countries where we can. We're delivering letters to the Thai government. We're trying to get other governments to pay attention to this. We're trying to get politicians' attention on this. So just yesterday, there were politicians within the Dutch parliament who raised this issue with their foreign ministry. We had the Secretary of State during his appointment or confirmation hearing, who was also raising this case, as well as other senators and parliament members. So it's become a really international crisis at this moment. And the more attention we can put on them, the better it will be.
Has there been any response from the Thai government? And also, the second question would be, is time running out for these 48 people?
Time is absolutely of essence and it is running out as we speak. These people have been on hunger strike for since a couple days ago. So time is of essence. The Thai government, of course, refuses to acknowledge that they've made any kind of decision regarding their deportation. But this was the same when they returned the group of over 100 Uyghurs in 2014. So their reassurance doesn't mean much.
Well, we're going to keep an eye out on this, and obviously, we will be kept updated on developments as well, because this is a matter that is very, very close to our heart as well, Zumretay as well, where we have been from time to time we've been providing coverage on the plight of the Uyghurs, and earlier on, I even mentioned in just over a month, the month of Ramadan will be coming through, and we know for some, obviously, when it comes to the month of Ramadan, the Chinese government actually steps up its repression, even in more ways than one, forced feeding, all of that. And we know over the years there's so much that has actually happened, particularly to the culture, to the religious beliefs. All of this at the end of the day has come under threat. So it's something that we definitely will be keeping an eye out on as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No problem. But for now, we thank you. We do appreciate you taking time out with us this morning. And we will continue, and we trust and hope that the plight of the Uyghurs, obviously, and particularly in this particular instance, we hope that you will succeed, and the powers that be, obviously, will make the right decision, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Zumretay Arkin joining us, Vice President and spokesperson for the World Uyghur Congress this morning, highlighting the plight of 48 Uyghurs, and again calls for the Thai government to immediately halt and stop the deportation of these people to the People's Republic of China. The time is just gone 9:49. We come back, and the launch of another campaign right across South Africa, and this time around, Masiha Saluji.